All right, guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork, and we're back to the Axial Yeti. Now, if you guys remember the Yeti series, this was, of course, the Yeti Not So RTR. I then converted it into kind of like the 2.0 version with a Proline body and these new Method Red 101 wheels. Just kind of revamped the look of it mostly, but I still had a couple of performance issues. Now, of course, with this rig, this thing's pretty much full custom, and you know, there's been a lot of weight added to it, not only with the wheels being aluminum, but the aluminum panels on the body, lots of different pieces that are aluminum that just kind of added to the weight of it. I had to beef some things up. So went to my friends over at Vanquish Products and also SSD RC to pick up a couple of items to help my Axial Yeti. So in this video, I'm going to show you kind of what I've installed on there. I did not do kind of like a video showing the parts in the bag, mostly because this is kind of like my personal project vehicle. I love this thing and I love driving it. I love taking it out and just kind of mashing around on it and seeing what it can do. So I added a couple of items here. Now, the most influential item is going to be the SSD rear axle. So this thing is super cool, and I'll show you guys an actual model number right there. So SSD 0049. This is the wide diamond rear axle. It's also centered, so a little bit different than the Wraith offset one that I was running in there from Vanquish. So here's the Vanquish one, and you know, they make awesome products, but unfortunately this was kind of plagued by the Wraith, unfortunately. So not only do you have these lockouts, but with the Yeti stance, you also had to run these huge, God, I think these are like 725 SLW hubs. And whenever you're landing on things, all you have is this simple steel axle inside. And I have bent at least 4 of these now. This one's severely bent. You can kind of see it wobbling around. So I was just kind of tired of that, and I know that this is something that, you know, Vanquish has addressed in not only the V2 version, but the center, and now they're coming out with the different you know, Curry, and also the F9 axle. So I think this one was just kind of weak, only because it was taken off of the Wraith. So nonetheless, this new SSD one is definitely going to be a new improvement here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these things around. Let's show you that SSD axle. God, look at that thing. That thing just looks sweet right there. So definitely looks like the F9 has that kind of you know, geometric shape to it. These things go all the way out to the SLW hubs. Now with that, I did have to purchase some new sizes. I picked up these 225s right here from Vanquish, and then also the 350s, which are actually installed on there, and that gave me the right wheel stance, so to speak. So right now I'm running in the rear. Looks to be right under 13 inches, so 12.75 in the rear. So should be a good wheel track for this Axial Yeti. So super nice, went in perfect. This one also uses the larger bearings, kind of like the V2 version of the Vanquish one. So, but all in all, a great product. Now, I did pick up the SSD HD drive shafts. These came with drive shafts, but just their standard ones. These ones are actually tapered, and then also come with these 12mm hexes that attach differently. I haven't messed with these yet, but I'm going to run the stock ones first and see if I do need these HD versions. So, but I wanted to have these on hand just in case. After all those bent drive shafts, I didn't want to have to deal with that again. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the body off and show you some of the other internal items I changed on my Yeti. All right, so here we're looking at a couple of new Vanquish products. This is the shock adjuster, I think is what they're calling it. This actually gives a different stance to the shock, so you're able to run a little bit different sizes. Basically just spaces it out. Normally the shock would mount all the way up here, but now you're able to move it out about a good ½ inch out from that highest point. Now you notice I also am running a different shock on the front. These are the rear slash Power Strokes from Proline Racing. So decided to go with those. It gives a little bit longer throw than the original Pro Specs I was running, and these things should be pretty well mated to that extra little space right there. So I'm going to get plenty of travel now on that front end of this Yeti. On down the line here, the bell cranks right there, and hopefully you guys can see way deep in there. Those are the new Vanquish bell cranks. So adding to the aluminum theme inside there on the steering, I went ahead and added, you know, the double shear posts, the steering rack, which originally came out, and now the bell cranks. And the most unique thing about the bell cranks is it deletes the servo saver that was kind of plaguing in the original version here. So this is the original stock bell crank with the servo saver. That's been deleted. It's just a post now. So it basically looks like this on both sides, but just in aluminum. So you gotta love that. Now, one other thing that I am now running is the Proline XT shocks in the rear. Haven't had a chance to run them yet, but I have a good feeling that this will be a perfect match for the Power Strokes in the front. So it should be a good match overall in this Axial Yeti. Well, guys, that is my quick little video on kind of like an update. I should have running footage of this thing out here soon, and you guys will be hopefully able to enjoy that coming up. Well, guys, that's it for now. If you have any questions about this build or the Axial Yeti or the parts that I've used, please post it on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.